Alrighty. So, we should be good. I believe. Maybe. Potentially. Hypothetically. If everything goes well. But no, we should be in a good spot. We should be ready for this to work out. Though, is this working as I want in regards to the chat? Because I don't know, it might just be Twitch chat, which is annoying because it shouldn't. Because we should be live on both Twitch and YouTube right now. I mean, let me check, right? Twitch people, we are here. YouTube people, we are also here. So where's my double chat? Hello? I feel scammed. Where is my double chat? How do I fix this? That's annoying. Well, it is what it is. But got anchor build indeed. And did somebody say Haru? Yes, yes, yes. After 8 hours of JoJo, am I human? I am a machine, always, obviously. Which is why with mechanical precision, we shall finally beat up that stupid deck. Ayo, did I sleep? What is that? Can you eat that? What do you do with sleeping? Especially if you get devs like these. You can't really close your eyes without them doing some crazy stuff. What do you think? The devs decided to show off for Arabella officially on their own account when they said Arabella combat animation reveal. Only those that already actually, if you know what it is, don't spoil it. For those of you that don't know, that didn't check the Twitter, what would you expect if the devs say Arabella combat animations reveal? What would you show? Yeah, the ego skill, for example, right? You would show the epiphanies potentially. All good calls, right? Like combat animations. Maybe even, you know, the animation of the purple skill. Maybe the animation of the gold skill. But no. Once again, the devs have decided there's only one thing that counts. And is it this 9-second video showing nothing but. There's no combat animations. There's nothing like that. It is just Arabella standing there in a very windy area with some high gravity, high motion, high velocity, you know? Because that is what CCN is all about. Standing there menacingly. To be fair, that is all you're gonna see in combat. True. Impossible to cosplay. And well, you might have to find a way to get like a bodysuit. I mean, you can fit like an additional person in here and in there, right? So you could probably just, you know, get like additional, you know. But yeah. Nothing but. Hey, stop that. Best gacha ever. Femme Fatale, it's just dangerous woman. It's pretty much just, what the fuck? From France. But it is fantastic. It's fantastic for dangerous woman, pretty much. Holy screenshots. Yep. Holy gameplay enlightenment. Holy gameplay enlightenment. Hey, Arinizok, what's up? The back pain must be crazy. She's just ready to sprint away, get into combat, do something meaningful and decisive. So, how are your resources looking? Are you prepared in terms of potential stones? Are you prepared in terms of striker manuals? Are you prepared in terms of partner manuals? Are you ready to insta-max Arabella? That is the true question. You hope that CCN does. I mean, it will be fine. They are like, see, that is the thing. You have a lot of people in the community asking for summer skins, but let's be real here. When a character wears a summer skin, there's not not much left to choice for what they'll have to deliver. Otherwise, they're gonna complain that they did do summer skins, but they didn't do them the way people would expect. So obviously, clearly, winter season, we're sure about to see some stylish coats, and you know, like it's all just nothing to worry about. No, D6ing her is going to be hard. Not one bit. You maxed a Cassius while you wait for Olga? I do believe that if you want to make Olga the best she can be, wouldn't you at least want to have the option to run her alongside Arabella? And I mean, if you are preparing for Olga, that means you have the potential stones, right? If you're preparing for Olga, that means you have the potential stones necessary to upgrade Arabella. Gear and gear. I think that might just be too much. I think you might have crossed the line that's just a bit too far. Like, either regardless of if you mean it or not, that is just... See, this is like going that extra step and then a mile and then jumping off a cliff. That is slightly concerning. Alright, first try. What, the Haru deck? Ah, I should have copied the code, shouldn't I? Did I put the code somewhere? You'll probably see it, because there's no way we get this deck in one. Like, I'll be able to, like, go back, copy the deck properly. Because there's no way, right? There's no way we get the deck in one. Not if we have entirety of, like, 14 attempts to get it, so... you have the first iteration. No. Remember how I, like, made it slightly different when somebody asked for it, like, a day or two ago and then posted it? If you copy that, you can repost that. Or you could repost the double version. I mean, I'm still not entirely sure which one's better. You get 342 points in your Arsenal plus 2 on Mega Code. Should I be fine? I'm just worried she'd be underwhelming. See, I mean, if you think she's going to end up underwhelming, then you'd obviously want to save most of your summons. Rather just get a copy, get the partner, and then rather spend those masses on the anniversary, right? So what we're looking for is, we want the anchor. It needs to be a Vital Epiphany, and it needs to be weakness fortitude reduction. That is what we need. We need the anchor with weakness fortitude reduction. Everything else is too expensive. Like, okay, a wise man might have once said, but why don't you just play Sortie instead? Aren't you almost guaranteed to get it if you do like 80k Sortie points? Yeah, but 80k Sortie points, that's like 5 runs, and that's like 5 hours, and that's like 1,200 stamina. Ay. See, this is the interesting part, right? I do get this deck, and then we'll probably show it off, though. For you to also get that deck puts you in the same situation in which I currently am. And that is getting the deck in the first place, which... well... But luckily for you, they surely just introduces Select, Divine, Vitor, guaranteed event on the skill tree when we get the Arabella. Surely. And everything's gonna be so much easier. Speedrun Sortie... Yeah, but speedrun Sortie would be even less currency. Then it'd be like 12k a Sortie run? Maybe not even. Maybe like 11. Let's say 12k Sortie. That would still mean we'd have to do 8 Sortie runs. Even at speedrun, that's like, let's say 25 minutes each. That's still a good chunk of time. Which begs the question, why am I making this now instead of next week? That is also something I've personally asked myself. Unfortunately, I have yet to arrive at a satisfactory answer to the question of why are we doing this now and not when they introduce a select Vitor. I don't know. I'm honestly not too sure. Maybe because for now it sounds like a fun thing and it's not like I have anything more pressing to do. Kind of. Maybe. A little bit. I mean, who knows? Depending on how this goes, we might do another sortie to do another attempt. Did you like the JoJo game? Yeah, I think it's fun. He's addicted to the grind. He's addicted to the grind, to the pain. He's preparing himself for Arabella. well said, my guy. Also running castles in hopes I randomly draw one dice trick. Sure. Just don't hope for a draw one dice trick on a card that already draws, because you're not going to get that. Right? Like, a card that already draws can't get a draw divine. So, unless you're looking for a very specific dice trick, looking a little tough for you to find that draw divine on the dice trick. You know, just giving you a friendly warning, you could say. Like, I don't want to discourage you from building whatever deck you want to build. I just might want to say, there's a chance it's impossible. You would want to draw one of this unit and reroll to morale? So you want a 1-cost devil dice. You want a 1-cost devil dice that gives morale and draws a Cassius card. But what do you do when you're out of Cassius cards? Like, why not just go for the 0-cost dice trick and keep it at 1 draw? Because the only way I could see this being useful is if you're running him with an AP battery together and you're not struggling for AP, you're struggling for draw. Interesting Cassius. Interesting Cassius that would be. But sure, I mean, it's plausible, right? Getting 0-cost on devil dice is a pain in the ass? Yes, but luckily there's worse things. Getting cost reduction on an attack card isn't the hardest thing in the world. Luckily. Because that would be getting a specific divine. Hi, how can you get into the top 5 in the sortie rank? I don't understand how the points work. Okay, so, number 1, you need to be playing in 30 out of 30 difficulty on level 80. Step number 1. Step number 2 is going to be you will be needing to pick up every single character that's currently rated up for sortie points. So specifically, you need to run an entire team of, or at least 2 out of 3 of the blue buffed units. And then you need to run the purple buffed unit as well. Those also give you score bonus. So you gotta get those units as well. When you've then checked that off, then your task is to get as many cards as possible into these character decks, while also divining those cards, and then on top of that, getting high quality gear pieces. So the better the rarity of your gear pieces on your 9 slots, the higher your gear score. And then you also want to try to obtain as many fates as possible. And everything, and also you need to beat the chaos core on 30 out of 30. And then all of those things together while also playing on penance mode, because that gives an additional difficulty score. If you have all of those things combined, then you can reach for 60k and beyond. Give it a shot if you want. Not sure if that's be something I'd recommend anybody actively try to achieve, but it could be kind of fun to try to get it. So you should now have most of the tools on how you're gonna get there. Let me know if you actually make it into the top 5. No problem. No problem. Upgrade? So, our hope is obviously either getting the Vitor Epiphany straight up, or just not getting an Epiphany here and running into the Vitor event and then hitting Big Boy Vitor. Also, we need to be careful with our save data, because we're playing on difficulty 11, which means we only have 140 points. That means I need to stop. Yeah, we can't get another divine copy. So we have to like get a divine copy, but then we'd have to re-epiphany. On the condition that we actually walk away with the anchor. We might have to re-epiphany twice. Should we obtain the Fateful Anchor? Then again, I don't believe we will. I don't believe we will, but yeah. You hear that Hild is good for drawing cards? Should I get her or Arabella? Arabella is limited. Hild going to the standard pool, so while summoning for Arabella, you might as well walk away with the Hild. Hild is somebody you can get later. Arabella is not, at least not reliably. And also, in terms of like a team build, Arabella is the core of her own archetype, where Hild is an incredibly solid unit on her own. If you don't have any intention, like if you have a limited amount of summons, you don't really know what you want to do, but you also don't really want to summon like Olga and Hild and Arabella, then just pick up a Hild and then you could skip out on Arabella and potentially even Olga and just save for, I don't know, anniversary, whatever that might be. But Arabella is definitely the rarer unit. What's the anchor we desire? I show you the deck. Give me a sec here. The deck is pretty much gonna look something. Something like this. Now, there's a couple ways you can change the variety here and make it work differently. So listen to this. Don't just trust the code, listen to this as well. In terms of the highest one-turn burst, you're going to get that from the anchor shot that actually has retrieve, right? Highest one-turn burst support is going to be having retrieve on the anchor shot as the epiphany rather than one morale straight up. But that's specifically just for one turn, because the moment you use it one time, retrieve goes away, right? But so just so we have this out of the way, right? Just in this one turn scenario, retrieve anchor the best, especially because you will also be able to get 2 draw out of it for that one turn. So retrieve anchor specifically really good for 1 turns, and then as good as the other build past turn 1, besides the missing 4 morale. Right? But at its core, this deck is going to get around 15 morale a turn from anchor shot, around -10 fortitude as well. So -10 fortitude, 15 morale. With these, you'd get the additional 4. But it all comes also down to, are you running, right? Because we're running a Incre 1, Claim 1, Control 1. That means you can run a Claim 5, Incre 5, or Control 5. So you can go for crit rate, you can go for more draw, or you could even go for more morale, which means you don't necessarily need the common 1 morale divine. Now the second choice would be taking this anchor shot, duplicating the bastard, right? Like having 2 of them, and then turning one of these into a apply retrieve to anchor shots. Because this allows you to play the most amount of anchors out of all of them. But it's on the condition that this tactic only really ends up working in tower, rather than in content that isn't Justice Week. And the reason why Justice Week is important is because you can take advantage of the Battle Pass partner in Priscilla, where Priscilla can guarantee you that your anchor shot will always weakness attack, but it only works for 1 anchor shot. Meaning in a 2 anchor shot scenario, that is not going to work out. So, now that you are informed and you can kind of think of what kind of decisions you're going to take, this is the version I'll be mainly going for, because it gives me 19 morale, it gives me the least amount of cards to play, it gives me the highest amount of overall utility, and will also combine it with the Battle Pass partner. But which generic desire build to use? Or what's a good generic desire build to use? 5 claim, No, 5 survival, 3 claim. 5 survival, 3 claim. So something like a driven hunt, a sample collection, and then like either like the horde card, the dragon's horde card, which is base claim with survival 2 on it, or another driven hunt with survival 2 claim 1. So you want to get 5 points of claim, 3 points of survival, and that is because this gives you in total 7 stacks of morale every turn, no questions asked. So here's the code for those of you curious. Well, I guess I have to post it separately twice. But sure. How are we going to get the weakness though? I mean, that's what we were talking about, right? The Battle Pass partner is going to guarantee us weakness for the one HARU attack card that we only have. Because we're only using the anchor shot. We are guaranteed to always weakness hit with HARU due to the Battle Pass partner applying weakness to the anchor. So that is the main idea here. Or obviously you play in content where everybody's weak. Like you either play in Justice content or you play in the tower or you use the Battle Pass partner, right? Those are the main ways. So this was one attempt. Let's see how many more we can get out before daily reset and then how many more it takes us. This could be a very fruitless endeavor. We could actually end up in a situation where we get nothing, but that is okay. It is fine. Not everything has to be a success, right? Isn't retrieve better for HARU? See, that's the thing. The retrieve anchor, the anchor pointer that you get back with retrieve only works one time. And applying retrieve to the anchors themselves requires you to... You can't stack retrieve. So you can't play an anchor shot and then just get the other ones later. It always needs to have retrieve on it first before you play it. And that's also because you won't be able to move the anchor shot out of the graveyard back to hand. No, it always has to first have retrieve before you play it. So it's a bit less wieldy. As in the other deck is a bit more unwieldy. Huh? Hey, multi-stream is back. Let's go. Won't be faster to farm Sortie? Yes and no. Because we're technically gambling on something that could take... Like, I'm not saying it's likely, but a deck like this could end up costing us 150k Black Mass. I am not... Like, I have the attempts. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my delegations anyway. So I might as well just use them and see where we end up. If we get it, I'm gonna save myself a whole bunch of... Yeah, a whole bunch of uncertainty, right? What's the code? Oh, it's the deck code. So you can copy the entire code. It starts with the V. You need to go all through it. It's a little awkward, but you can put that on a HARU, and then you get a HARU deck that is the one we're currently trying to build. So... yeah, that is what that is. What is my recommended minimum save data value to delete? Usually I toss everything around the 40k range. Whenever you tend to seriously build a deck that finds success in both divines and gear, it should turn out in the 50, 55, 60, 65, 70k range. So I'm rather comfortable with being like, well, everything below 40k is most likely just left over from chaos runs. Now, the important part though is you can't just apply this universally, right? Like, you just gotta make sure that when you do something like that, all the decks you actually care about, so something like a 0-card deck, right? A 0-card deck is obviously only going to have like a score of 25,000, but that's why it's locked, or at least favorited, so that it doesn't get auto-deleted by something like that. Just make sure that when you use auto-delete, all the decks you actually care about, specifically the ones you'd actually be hurt by them getting deleted, that those are at least favorites or locked. Is it not possible to get the Weakness Divine on a non-common Epiphany anchor? Oh no, you can absolutely still get the Weakness Divine on a a normal epiphany. It's just the 3 morale neutral epiphany is a lot stronger. Because it works towards the idea of what this entire HARU build is supposed to do. And that is team boost morale while also reducing enemy fortitude, giving you big boy damage. Who would be best in slot teammates for HARU according to me? Naja. Naja and HARU go hand in hand. If you run a Naja and a HARU together, it is incredibly useful. You're going to see it quite some times and quite a lot of times as well. Because you can always use something like a Naja to cost reduce an anchor to 0 cost. And then even if you move it back to hand, it's going to stay 0 cost for the rest of the turn. Allowing you to play it for free the full 5 times. On average 5 times that you actually end up playing the anchor. Same is also true with Persona cards, where you find yourself in a situation where you kind of want to play the Persona cards multiple times a turn, which is why you can use something like a move perk. That's unlucky. You want to use something like a move perk, and that you can then combine with Naja so that you can play multiple times a turn. That is even more unlucky. If this was weakness attack, I would have cried. That would have been the betrayal of the century. Luckily it's not, so we are very happy. Because unfortunately, there's no way to take a divine and take it from a different epiphany of a different card onto a different card. So, like, you can't transfer it between cards. There we go. And then, in terms of who else? Ooh, nice. A 1 draw. We take those. On the on the off chance that we actually run into the actual anchor, it's going to save us like a few salty cores. By no means any big amount, because getting draw on a skill card is a lot easier than getting weakness attack on an attack card. But hey, point saved are point saved. You're hesitant of removing save data just because there was that one event that requires you to burn save data. Should an event like this come around again, trust me, you will be building enough decks anyway. To the point where, like, every time you do a chaos run, you create 3 decks. 1 for the character you care about, and 2 you can burn. So, even if an event like this would come around, would be easy to fulfill. And you'll always have some save data that you can just actually take a look at and be like, well, this is kind of outdated. So, don't really fear the existence of an event like this. It's not relevant enough to warrant you having a full save data storage space thing area. Okay, come on. Final epiphany, hit me with that Vitor. Well, I tried. I tried so hard and Vitored so far. But in the end, it wasn't Viter. Does anybody know, when you do distortion adaptation on a character, do you get the divine upgrade as well? Probably not, right? Because then what would be the point of it? Let's see. Oh, you do? Well, so, if there's a season ongoing, why would you ever get the Divine Epiphany adaptation? I don't know. I don't know. Why would you ever get that shit when there's a season ongoing? I don't know. But it is kind of cool to have. Just because if a character is full, well, they're full, right? But I mean, that is generous. So that means, should, on the condition, obviously we have nothing confirmed, no anything. But on the condition that this divine node is actually team-wide, then that means when you're doing distortion adaptation, you actually have the highest chance. Huh? You have the highest chance. Very, very impressive. For off-season grinding. Yep. Because we all love pre-season grind. I know how much the community and everybody enjoys pre-season grinds. Those are truly the best times, which is why it's super important to have the divine. Salty. On the off chance that you're actually getting a card for the first time, or you're getting an epiphany normally, you might see more divine cards should you have that note. Maybe. You love going broken zero system rerolls. See, this is, I guess, one of the better parts of this season. I don't feel the need to play Swamp of Judgment. So I can just play a bunch of Season 4, and then by the time I somehow hit my head hard enough that I want to play Swamp of Judgment again, I'll have a bunch of reroll currency, and it's going to be a great, great time. So we have Friday, tomorrow, Saturday, and then it's Sunday, and then it's Monday, and then it's Tuesday. 4 days until full Arabella reveal. What? Also, are you making a video of the leaked Arabella epiphanies? If they didn't leak anything else, as far as I can tell, they were a week old. A lot of this information was already garbage, so there is no point, nor do I particularly care about leaks as a whole. Leaks in CZN are one of the worst I've ever seen. Always pretty garbage. I need to game 3 days ago and rush level 40. What should I be focusing on before the week ends? Okay, things that you should do before the week ends. You should do your battles. You should do your boss battles so you can get promotion or potential promotion material. So you have 3 fights. Make sure you do your 3 out of 3 weekly fights. Other things you want to care about on a weekly basis. Most of the interesting stuff happens on a monthly basis, so there's nothing too crazy. You could try and buy affinity items from the summon shop before they disappear for yellow currency, but that really isn't that important. The Raider scanning gear 30% chance. Does it remain till end of the turn if you reuse the card? No, it's only for the very first card you play. Oh, wait. I haven't tested it actually. I don't know. Good call. No idea. The 30% crit chance to the card, what if you get the same card back? I don't know. The most reliable way to test this would be to get a character with exactly 70% crit chance. Play the card. Get it back. And then see if you are able to uncrit. See if you're able to not crit. I'm sure Des will give Broken Kid Arabella because it's her time. Full season till anniversary? What do you mean? I am pretty sure Devs will give Broken Kid to Arabella because it's her time full season till anniversary. Ew, wrong divine. Go away. We don't need harmonization. And will Arabella's fracture conflict a bit with Hild, like how Diana sort of desynced with Hyde Mary? No, it's the other way around. They'd actually sync better together. Because Arabella should have the option to also detonate fracture of other teammates. Making it so that it's actually a benefit, a net gain to have multiple sources of fracture. That's at least the idea. Huh? Leaks are behind the year, I swear. True, true, true. But yeah, no, we'll see. Oh, also, we might have ourselves a very, very weird Tuesday. Our Tuesday might be very, very weird. Now, to explain why the Tuesday is going to be weird, there's a good chance we won't actually be getting a stream. But we will be sitting there together, refreshing. I know around the time of when they usually release the character combat PVs and whatnot. Like, unless they obviously still do a live stream, right? We would be sitting there on the official CZN channel refreshing for them to upload the Arabella combat motion so that we can see her epiphanies in that, similar to how they did it with Typhara. Typhara? No. Tenebria. Another T character. Similar as how they did it with Teneria, and then also wait for them to upload the dev note. I would prefer a stream. I think the streams are a lot more fun, a lot more visually pleasing, but we'll take what we can get. Need a new Forster? There's a singular one, supposedly. Them not doing a life for limited character seems like a bad decision. It does, but they kinda technically did the same thing in Season 3, just the fact that they started out the gate with the limited, right? You know what I thought about? I thought about just going to the devs and being like, hey, can you give me the information for the new character, like 5 hours before you upload it on YouTube, and I'll whip together a stream? Like, would you be willing to let me just do that? Right, that was like one of my thoughts. Or hey, maybe they would even give us the stream key, you know, for the official channel, and then we could host the characters that aren't them announcing everything, right? But yeah, I don't know. G-Clip gonna fight me for his job? I mean, he can still do his streams. Like, I would rather make a stream than there be none, right? Like, I'd rather have than don't. Ah, wrong divine. Man, now they're playing with our feelings. All attack weakness, huh? They're just playing with our feelings at this point. Whoops, deleted the wrong card. Me and G-Cliff have the box. I'll fly to Korea right now. Let's get it. I was always waiting for my one opportunity to fly into a different country to fight another grown man for a gacha game presentation job that probably doesn't have any pay. At least not if I were to do it. That was always my dream, you know? Like, when I thought, what would I do when I grow up? That is exactly what I came up with, so it would indeed be a dream come true for something like this to happen. Would be pretty good. Okay, come on. Ugh. That was also top of the list for you? Yeah, I know. We might have all been very similar growing up. That is true. What's good? Ankh. Ankh is looking for schoolgirl Haru deck. Don't question him. And he does know that it's most likely going to be a lot easier to get a deck like this once the Arabella patch hits. Because they surely introduce a select card event with Vital Divinity. But he doesn't want to listen. He is in too deep. He does not see the light. He doesn't understand. You know? Why claim control increase instead of survival? Because we will have max morale stacks anyway, and it would be a lot more like the reason why we're doing 1-1-1 is so that we have the option to go 3 different 5 sets. Either 5-set claim. Hey, we got your punch. Hey, appreciate the prime. Void Phoenix, appreciate the prime. So we have the option to either go a 5-set claim, 5-set control, or 5-set inquiry. So we could get draw, we could get crit rate, or we could get even more morale stacks depending on what we feel like by just beating the rest of the team. It keeps us flexible, and we don't really care about the morale gain from survival anyway. Now we gotta do something with the delegates. Exactly. But then most of my delegates are going to go towards finding a way to make Arabella the strongest unit ever. Obviously, as that's the goal with every other unit. There's gonna be a couple delegates definitely going her way, unsurprisingly. You see, that's great. So yeah, instead of going for the chance to get any 7 perks, I want the flexibility to go for any 5 perk I think of on 4. I don't know. You know what I mean. Hope she has some good non-fracture builds. Maybe. But what would that look like? What would a non-fracture build look like? Like just raw damage numbers, like a multi-hit, or high multiplicative, just percentage-based AoE damage? You don't know? Okay. Well, then we gotta hope that while you might not know what you want, the devs know what to deliver. You don't think she has a good non-fracture build? We will know if she'll have a good non-fracture build by the time she rolls around. Hopefully. Arabella full foot shield deck. You're not wrong. There is going to be some people that all of a sudden want to play Arabella as your team's dedicated shielder. That is partly possible. Unfortunately, you can't use a copy core to duplicate a common card, like a basic card. Hey, Yom8, appreciate the follow. What's up, what's up? Welcome, welcome. You see, the guy is a man of culture as well. Aren't we all? Dev knows Bella, not a Yuki. Do they? We'll see. Would select copy work? No, even select copy event doesn't let you select basics, does it? I mean, I think there used to be a time where you were able to copy basics, but that's long past. Ah, you mean with the 2 absorption shields she got? She should be able to safely secure your party. True. You are not incorrect. But we'll have to prove the validity of those claims, if you know what I mean. You can copy the basics in sortie. Yeah, well, but that doesn't help us in terms of making it a full deck. Does it help increase the likelihood of somebody finding a way to turn Arabella into their dedicated shielder for a sortie run? By quite a lot. You might be the only one that was particularly looking for a beauty mark on Arabella. Maybe you're in too deep, or maybe we are just not deep enough yet. Or potentially we've all already subconsciously realized what you are pointing out. I don't know. Alright. What are the odds? Super tiny. Is it still gonna work? Absolutely. This could have been it! Like, this would have been the run! It's the same odds! The deck would have been finished! We have a draw 1 divine on an anchor pointer! A Vitor exclusive divine on anchor shot! With the 3 morale neutral! Why couldn't it have just been a different one? Like, why make it Vitor? Why make it Anchor Shot? Why make it a dedicated Divine and then it's just not the right one? Ah! Such a scam. Man. Luckily, there's another shop. And in our infinite copium, we're just gonna pretend we're going to get the exact same roll, the exact same Divine, just a different epiphany. This hurts. Like, that roll actually hurts. Nah, well. Yeah, I don't want to draw one card of this unit, Haru. Believe me when I say it, I don't need that. Draw the thing to pull the anchor back. Great, but life finds a way. I would much rather get what actually makes this deck special. Get what makes this, what sets this deck apart. And that is the additional 10 negative fortitude. Rather than... Like, what would I rather have? 19 morale? Or 19 morale and negative 10 fortitude? Remember when I asked how long it would take? I mean, I don't really would count it as like days or what. Like, technically it's still like day 2 of the attempts. We can do like 7 runs a day. So, daily reset is also in a little bit. Hope dies last and my gems die first. We could reroll Divine Vitor in Death Stage. No. We could apply a Vitor Epiphany to a card and then get the same epiphany, the same Divine for 3 different epiphanies on the condition that the card we use or the card that we get there with the card unepiphanied. What would be the best bonk build for a Haru should you be using a Naja with cost reduction? It's probably the... I think it's the vulnerable anchor that creates copies of itself in the deck. Plus retrieve anchor shot. Yeah, I think that's like the mega bonk build. The anchor that copies itself into your deck when you use it. With the vulnerable Divine. Because it keeps the Divine when it copies itself. And then combine that with the apply retrieve to the anchors. While making all of those anchors 0 cost with Naja. Which should allow you in total at... I think it's 9 anchor usages or something. All of them with vulnerable. Because you're gonna take 3 anchors that you can then that you can first apply retrieve to, play, get them back, apply retrieve to, play, get them back, then play them again. Or you could get 2 anchors, apply retrieve to them, play them, get them back, apply retrieve, play them, get them back, apply retrieve, play them, get them back, play them again to get 8. So I think it would probably be like... Oh no, wait. It's actually more because obviously it's the anchor, it splits itself. So it would actually go... You have 3 anchors. You play. That is 3. But because they have retrieve, they come back. So 3 for the first retrieve, 3 for the second, 3 for the third, 3 for the fourth. So that is 12 anchors. And then for the final time, you'd play the 3 anchors normally. So 15 hits. Yeah. I kind of forgot the fact that we're not actually running 3 copies of the anchor, but the anchor copies itself for us. Which is very kind. Very generous. Very pleasant. Time to go to the mindset that it is a mega bonk build. A true mega bonk build. Because there's a mega huge amount of bonks in that build. That's why it's called the mega bonk build. But yeah, if you wanted to turn that deck even crazier, you could also try and put in a persona. Like the Striker persona, or even just a standard discard 2 damage boosting persona. Or you could run it on Season 4. Whatever floats your boat, right? Everything works. Season 3 is probably going to be a bit more damage. Season 4 is a lot more content relevant right now. But even if you were to build it in Season 4, I don't know if there's going to be any particular Season 4 content where you're like, damn, let me whip out Mega Bonk HARU. But yeah, I can't wait for multiplayer and 10 new game modes on the anniversary. Because when these devs do something, they're pretty good at just doing everything at once instead of splitting it like a sensible person would. So we're probably going to see like fucking, I don't know, 10 different game modes and multiplayer and all that all crammed into the anniversary. Yeah, I mean, guilds would be sick. I'm not entirely too sure what you would do in a guild. But hey, rather have one than need one. Wisdom out of a fortune cookie. Nice stream? Ah, come on, man. Surely we're gonna get multiplayer. Hello, Derry G. Mail-in. Who's that? And who said mail-in? Scam. If guild stays as a social aspect, sure. Give me crazy Guna skins to show off to my guild mates. There you go. David G. Kowalski, I mean, I have him ready. I just forgot to port over the file. Like, I could turn into Kowalski, but I don't feel particularly motivated right now to get my laptop, turn it on, take the file. You call it dips for my guild? Ah, I gotta remember Mr. Dan John 8371 when it's finally time for guilds to roll around. Alright, alright. Anybody bidding any higher? I only have one spot in the guild to sell. Anybody bidding? Wait, no. I mean, surely we have like 19 spots to sell, right? Because that's the sensible thing to do. Sell spots to a fucking gacha game guild. Exactly. Do you have a spot? I mean, it would be a crime if you didn't. Hey, Cthulhu, give me Cthulhu Dagger. Come on. Ugh. If I get in, I guarantee you guys get to see the most Gunabait skins they create. Alright, alright. Is having a gain 1 AP bad on anchor shot? Or should I have something else? I mean, gain 1 AP on anchor shot turns anchor shot... Wait. Can you get a gain 1 AP neutral with a 1 cost reduction to create a 0 cost base anchor shot for no reason? I guess so. But like, usually... You don't necessarily Yuki in the bathing suit. Oh, anchor pointer. Oh, usually you find yourself with a 1 draw on anchor pointer. But you could also go for AP. You just gotta keep in mind, especially if you're playing like a E2 Haru, that any AP you generate with an anchor pointer, should you right after play the anchor shot, it gets consumed straight away. Right? I mean, guild raid would also give us a new piece of content to actually build decks for. It'd be like two smart things at one in one update and stuff. You know what I mean. So we've successfully managed to not Epiphany Anchor Shot. So now we get a hope that we find the Vitor event that doesn't look like a lot like a question mark event. If you check this out, you see that there's a suspicious lack of question marks. So I don't know if we make it to there without a Anchor Shot Epiphany. I mean, we're already here. Are we at least going to go to the copy? You know what? Let's just, for the sake of it, finish this. HARU still meta. Whatever build we are currently trying to cook up, or the 15 anchor shots in a turn builds, those are definitely builds you could refer to as meta. You won't pull for hit because you stopped your dreams from coming true. Alright, alright. See, a lot of people have a lot of reason for a lot of things, and that is up to them, right? Also, I don't know if we should continue playing this difficulty. I'm kind of scared that we're gonna die for no reason. Everyone's meta if you try hard enough. Exactly! Which is why I can comfortably tell people that certain decks are meta, because the meta is whatever you want it to be. Chaos, zero trouble. The meta is whatever you want it to be. Like, for example, did you know that we're currently in a meta where it's forbidden to play anyone that's not called Rin? Like, I didn't know that. But that's like actually a thing. Wait. We actually have to translate this into the CZN language so that the game understands. We actually have to translate that into in-game. Can it give me a bit here? I mean, this is kinda cool. The decreased fortitude weakness attack thing on Serenial can actually lead to a rather potent homing laser by just combining this with a neutral card, which is going to give you a 1-cost draw 2, reduce enemy fortitude by 4. It is a very strong Serenial card. And that's probably what we're going to finish this run with. Just should we ever feel like... I don't know. Or would I? I mean, I don't know. I think the card is cool. The 4 fortitude reduction combined with 2 draw. But I mean, it also means you can't... I mean, you could keep a basic in. I don't know. We have to see. So, more importantly, now we actually gotta make the game understand, right? That at some point this might not be actually that great, because you need to know that this right there. Okay, let me actually make it a bit clearer, right? Sometimes it's a bit hard to understand for the game to know what we do and what we mean. But this right there, this is some bullshit. This is some bullshit. Bullshit. But yeah, Bye bye, Maylin. We send you back into the, I don't know, into the chaos mines. Wherever characters go when they're not needed. I mean, it's what I wanted, right? No, I did not. This is hearsay and heresy in one. Unless we get it here as well. Nice attempt. You can't say I didn't try. Is there a world in which you play a multi-plasma missile Serenial? Wait. It's kind of like HARU but weaker. Because you would get 4 morale, -4 fortitude, right? Because it's a card that would have a for 1 turn gain 2 morale, because it's a 1 cost attack card like Cassius. So long as the enemy has a tenacity bar, you would, with a plasma missile deck like this, gain 16 morale and -16 fortitude? Only problem is this shit costs 1. And it'd be sad. You would slap it on lasers. That's not how it works. It can't be put on 0 cost attack cards. That's the balancing the devs have decided on. Weakness attack, decrease fortitude by 2, cannot be put on 0 cost cards. Which is the reason why. Otherwise, everybody would be running negative fortitude on their Serenial. I thought of that masterpiece as well. Unfortunately, the devs were a step ahead. They prevented disaster. They were too smart for their own good. Which was actually good for the game. Which means they were too smart for my good. Is what it is. What can you do? Sometimes you gotta give credit where credit is due. The devs did not fuck up. At least not majorly. Prevent a disaster other than E2 HARU? I mean, it's something you reach after investment. It's something that requires a lot of foreplanning. It's a proper deck. Weakness, decrease, fortitude, 2 morale, divine. We always knew it was a little special. A little too potent for its own good. How are we winning? How are we even still alive? I don't know. Are we dead? No? Hey, we regenerate like 92 HP. Let me just copy this card just in case. You never know. You never know. But if they did fuck up, 13? No, it's not 13. It's 13,000. Yeah, I just blind. Okay, the amount of polishing this deck would need to be worth it on Serenial is a little disgusting. No way we win, right? Alright. Good enough. Didn't expect it. Didn't really look for it. And another reason why we should kind of probably play on a lower difficulty to just not have to worry about this. Because we only really need an anchor shot. We don't care about the rest. Like, failure was to a degree you could almost say expected. So we have 3 minutes from reset. This is run number 6 total, I think. Okay, not total. Total would probably be like 20. I don't know, but it would be a pretty good number. Should have healed at camp. That is where the fact comes in that rest and recovery was probably a perk that wasn't available. But yeah, probably should have healed at camp. Or use a better healer. Yep, yep. Now we're bringing in the real. Now we're bringing in the real solutions. So Haru, wrong divine. Very sad that like from the get-go you already kinda know shit ain't happening. Like, and even if we do get a divine, unless that divine got the spicy orange spikes, I don't want it. I don't need it. I can't do nothing with it. So this should shape up and look like it's going to be a very short run. This run up, Cthulhu Dagger. That's a Glock. At least the desire card's like supremely easy. Superiorly, really easy. What would be a good partner for Haru if you don't have a signature partner? Highly recommend. Okay, probably you don't have that partner as well, but I would recommend you to use Scarlet, the Rin/Mei-Lin partner. I'd be like, well, if you have her, you should use Scarlet. But no, in terms of like the current build we're building, we are actually going to be 100% using the Battle Pass partner Priscilla. The Battle Pass partner Priscilla for Haru. Should we get this deck actually going? But no, otherwise you can just go with Ritoshka, I think is your next best bet then. What would be the best team for a Fae, assuming your Cassius, Nia, and a Hugo are already gone? Fae, Hild. You could do something like Triple Ranger actually. You could do like a Fae, Hild, Luke. You could do Fae, Hild, Serenia. Like Ranger Hunter, right? Double typing. Fae, Hild. Fae, Hild, Adelheid goes kinda hard. What would be a good 2-piece for Arabella? Crit damage 2-piece, attack percent 2-piece, or agony 2-piece. But it's most likely going to be crit damage 2-piece combined with the crit damage from the set as well. Yo, use Serenia. We are using Serenia. We already have a deck for her prepared this season. Though, unfortunately, we are actually trying to rather get a Haru deck. Come on, Haru. Tough luck. Still have your partner selector, Scarlet it is. Wouldn't you use the partner selector on Asteria then? But I'll be honest, yes, Scarlet is more flexible, usable on more characters, so it's a good idea. But like, as in, well, what if I don't have Haru's dedicated, but I actually have a selector where I could get her dedicated, but I'm not going to pick her dedicated? True. Works as well. What are we planning to do? You can check out the deck code, but we're going to try to turn her into support Haru. The best support the world has ever seen. On the condition that we get it to work. Come on! Oh, fuck me sideways twice and what? No, why? Oh, you, brain, ouch, why? Oh, no, not again, not again, not again. Shit. Fuck! Man, that's ouchy. Whew. Well, another day, another run, am I right? But at least we're getting closer, right? We've already seen 3 vital epiphanies on the anchor. 2 of them were mega scam, 1 of them wasn't as bad. We're getting closer. Or a person with no belief in my capabilities would be saying, this is the closest you ever got. From now on, it's getting further away. That is also possible. Guess we're waiting for the select epiphany. We might. I mean, we still try today. Maybe we're smacking another sortie. But then it just makes sense. Especially if it's a select divine event with triple different epiphany. That would make it obscenely easy to get what we need. Come on, back to back. 50-50 of it getting closer, getting further away. Yeah, but how would I know? How would I tell? How would I know if we're getting closer or further away? So, daily reset. Okay, let's get a couple happy thoughts. We are about to get the best Arabella gear piece I've ever seen on my account. Yeah. Don't stop believing. Come on. Best Arabella piece I've ever seen on an account. Make it happen. We are desperate. We are in need of some good vibes. Come on. Would this Haru deck replace the Cassius? It would. How good is Haru? This Haru that we're trying to build would most likely end up being the best multi-hit support this entire season. Which is kind of interesting. The only condition for this build is E2 Haru or a Naja. You could technically also make this Haru deck work if you were to use a Naja. I don't think she's a health scaler. You know? Health, crit damage, attack damage over time? I don't think she is. What the fuck is the build? You want to see it? You can check out the build link or after this run. But yeah, no. This Haru is capable of applying -10 fortitude to the enemy while providing up to 15 or 19 morale to the team depending on what epiphany you go with. You could pair up with Shizuru. That wouldn't quite... I mean... But that's on the condition that you get the anchor in hand at the start of the turn. It does reduce the highest cost card by 2. It's just you would have to have the anchor in your hand at the time of you getting it. Pre-build Arabella. Yep, that's the hope. I don't think she's defense based either. What would she need? Fracture set. Fracture set with attack percent, crit chance, crit damage, and obviously damage over time substat. So main focus should be the fracture set. Then it's going to be getting weakness attack or getting instinct percentage or attack percentage on the goblet. It kind of depends. There's a certain chance that you might actually be able to run a crit damage or attack percentage 4th slot. But it kind of depends on your team, what kind of dupes you'll have and whatnot. So you'd be safest going crit chance, attack instinct, attack. And then substat wise, you want to go crit chance, you want to go damage over time, you want to go, yeah. That'd be kind of the direction you'd want to go into. Oh, that's pretty. Maybe this is gonna turn into a good hit piece. What do you think on Arabella? I mean, from the information we have so far, she's obviously looking promising. I'm very much looking forward to playing a unit that applies dots and then has the ability to detonate them themselves. But I withhold my full judgment until number 1 we have her in hand, and number 2 we obviously for the first part even see the entire kit and partner. Like, a couple of things that are always interesting as well is, right, what does the partner do? What does the potential do? And as well as also epiphanies. Huh? And dupes. Dupes also, right? Do we know dupe effects? We don't know anything. There were leaks, but they were old, so you can trust those if you will, but do that at your own risk. So at the moment, we don't know anything besides the base cards. Yeah. What is the code for a HARU deck? Oh, did I not put that in the message? Did I just call it a deck code? Oh, somebody's asking. Oh, sorry. What the fuck? When did I miss that message? Rita or Diana from a ticket? It's always between Rita and Diana. I don't know how. But for people, it's always the question, should I go Rita or should I go Diana? Something went wrong. Try again, please. What if I don't try again? What are you gonna do? What's the game gonna do to me if I don't try again? Look at this shit. Health, attack, crit chance, extra damage. Not looking very promising with us getting like a Dream Arabella piece. I did pin it, but did it get unpinned? That's the big question. Did it get unpinned? We need attack, crit rate, crit damage, and damage over time. I feel like damage over time as a substat is going to be a lot more valuable than crit damage substat. So, because that you already get from the gear set aplenty, which means it is at least a little easier. Because you don't necessarily, like, obviously you want all of it, but you don't necessarily need all of it. Okay, we got basically nothing. Happens to the best of us. But maybe this one singular piece we got could turn into like a really good hilt piece. Oh, also I didn't even take a look at these pieces. I just kind of collected them as like, oh wow, that set looks interesting enough. Maybe I should just end up picking it up, and that's how. There's a couple pieces I haven't even. Whenever there's a defense-based character that's going to use this set, I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be over the moon. No, I will be the moon. Yep. I will be the moon. That is what I'm going to be. Okay. Let's start with, on the note of moon, let's start with the piece where we're reaching for the stars. We're looking for crit damage, damage over time sub. Yep. Okay, the final hope in the dream of this entire thing. Give me crit chance substat. Okay. Then at least give me a bunch of extra damage. Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. I love you too, game. We understand each other like no two people do. Yeah. Maybe these 6 crafts are different. Different from what you would usually want to get. Besides this one. Could be. Nah, I don't think so. So, 2 more chances. For this not to turn into 2 more. Wow, 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 wow. We are totally on fire. Especially with the stupid submarine background music from Simulation. I hate that. They need to remove that. Damage over time. This is again gonna be one of those pieces where they just swap the set and laugh at me because they can. Yeah. Yeah. Damn you devs. Could be worse. I mean, 10.5 on 5.6. Maybe that will find some use. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, man. Missed a lot of the live streams because of your exam. Brother. See, there's my live streams, and then it's taking care of your own exams, alright? Like, not to worry about it. Prime Wanderer Formica. Shiny Wanderer Formica. We still have to beat her ass. All our characters are mentally ill, which is why we're having a hard time delegationing. Oh, you haven't done this one? I have... Oh, this boss? Oh, yeah. I mean... Okay, you know what? We're probably going to do these couple two... the 2, 3, 4 delegations here. And then we actually have to do full-scale offensive. Haven't finished that one yet. And then we also have to do hyperspace basin. I mean, I gotta get them done anyway. Might as well do that here. Is there anything you want to particularly see as like a character to take on a specific full-scale offensive? If it is within my means, I shall try and use said character on said boss to reach the score. Preferably it's a team that can get it done in like 5 turns. I don't really want to aim for like 1.4 million. Because for now, I don't really see the need to. But how are we building now? We're trying to build support HARU. We're trying to build support HARU. It's just... We got trolled today twice already. We got an anchor shot with the Vitor Divine, draw 1 card of this unit. So, yeah. Who would I want to use as a DPS on the first one? My intention is to use a Typhera or Leia, Nuke, Hyde Mary. Yeah. Devs being too cruel, not gonna lie. Indeed. They're playing with my heart. Will I put the build code? Yeah, I mean, see, by this point, I have at least 1 build on most of my characters. And by the time... Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm probably at some point just gonna sit down, craft a couple decks in the deck editor, and then just put them somewhere. I just don't know where. I'll put them somewhere, you'll be able to find them, and then you'll be able to enjoy them whenever and wherever that might be. But it should be semi-quick. Would a Serenia be able to the Colossus again still? Well, I don't know if his mechanics changed due to compared to the usual Colossus. But we could try taking our Serenial and taking on Colossus. Then again, I already did the third boss with a Hild Luke Serenial comp. Because I could. You get your best Rin deck using a delegation? Yeah, I mean, that's how it usually goes, right? Like, delegations can give you an almost, if not a fully finished deck. You just gotta make it happen. Just gonna make it happen. I heard you want to use Hugo a little more. Well, we could try to use off-meta Hugo to get 900k score. Game, you're being sick. You're being sick in the head a little. Luckily for you, once again, you've avoided Calamity by picking draw one of this unit on the wrong card rather than weakness fortitude. But game, you're playing with fire. I have the possibility to just close you. You know that, game, right? Like, you know that I'm clearly not live and I can clear and close this at any time I want. I am under no pressure to actually continue this run. It's not like I actually have any reason to do so. So remember, right? I can close this at any time I want. Don't play with me. That surely is gonna help, right? That's surely gonna help and make it so that everything will be rainbows and sunshine. When did I last play Shizuru? Ooh, end of season 3, maybe? But we could play like a stacking, or we could play like a good old stacking Shizuru. Like just like a one-turn stacking Shizuru. For, I don't know, full scale. One of those. Cassie's deck the most annoying to build? Holy? Nah. Sure, you can quit whenever you want. I don't have a gambling problem. See? We are clearly in agreement. Am I still claiming to be a Rin main? I am at least in Rin's fan club. If there's only one Rin fan, then it is I. Am I what I would consider myself to be a Rin main? I mean, I've tried, but Rin is, for this season, like, we're drifting apart a little. She's being a little cold, a little distant. I tried, you know, to give her a bunch of offerings in terms of my time and my resources, but she so far has yet to actively work together with us to actually make a good deck happen. Is there currently boosted Rin? Well, if there were... So, does this mean we're about to play a boosted Rin salty run? Because why not? Alright, let me see what they did to my queen. What did they do to my queen? Let me see. It surely has something to do with crit rate and crit damage. It always does with these upgrades. I don't think they've increased any hit counts. That'd be kind of weird. Maybe they reduced some AP cost for some reason. Let's see. What did they do to Rin? At 3 hits, they did add hits. Alright. They add 3 hits to Darkness Secret at Black Dance, and when in Darkness Dance you get crit chance and crit damage. Now, the reason why I said adding hits would be weird wouldn't be for Black Dance, but rather for Annihilation. Because for Annihilation, adding 3 hits would have been a lot more impactful than adding 3 hits to Black Dance. But still, 30% crit chance, 6% crit damage, 3 extra hits on Black Dance is kind of peak. Rintastic. That is indeed rintastic. Let's do the last free run, and then we'll try 30-30 Rin. We'll try 30-30 Rin sortie, which is going to be super sweaty. The final thing we'll do today, and it might end with my death. But oh no, I don't have any salty stamina. I just used it to farm gear unsuccessfully. Playing salty without a stamina is a bad idea. Wait, I just realized you get 10 energy thing from clearing salty. No, you pay 10 to enter, you just get it back when you win. Or better said, you get it back when you fail after at any point starting from the first boss. You don't get anything back. You don't get anything, you get back what you've lost. UTCZN, what a great supports for Shizuru. Ooh, Cassius. Cassius, the free Joker. Cassius is one of the best supports in the entire game, and Cassius goes incredibly well with Shizuru. Other notable characters alongside of Shizuru are going to be something like a Narsha. So Shizuru has two main builds. One of them is trying to make her purple card that she creates, her Shadow of the Moon, as strong as possible. And the other one is going to create basic attacks. And with the help of something like a Narsha in your team, you can turn her into a reliable basic attack scaler, you could even say. So, yeah. Narsha and Cassius are kind of the best supports, but then anything else that has draw. So, notable characters that would come to mind would be Faye, would be Hild, would be Veronica, Hugo. Hugo also pretty good together with Shizuru. Yeah, these would be like the top of my head first come to mind units to run alongside the Shizuru. Wait, you can get double the tank at the sword, so you could get 16%? Yeah. If you run it on 2 teammates, you get 16% team-wide, indeed. Why haven't you signed any survivor cards from events these past few days? I swear they were easier to get more. Because you're playing delegation runs and then get slightly unlucky on top? You know what? I have a peak strategy idea. Listen to this. Put 3 DPS together in a team and equip every DPS with tentacles of a ruined age. That is going to give you a team-wide 24% attack rather than a 18% attack if everybody had a Cthulhu gun. Like, sure, you could also be like, but what if I use Cthulhu gun and 2 tentacles of a ruined age? Wouldn't that give me a 34%? You would be correct, but it would only be a 34% to one person. Which is clearly super sad and not power of friendship like. And it's the standard. Could that work? It would work. Like, I have a triple DPS team this season that I like very much, and it is a Serenial, Hild, Luke team. Serenial, Hild, Luke team, where technically we could run all 3 of them with the tentacle, which would give the entire team 24% attack. But, yeah. Is it a particularly crazy team or a team you absolutely have to build? Not really. But Serenial allows me to play very expensive Luke cards. And Hild is there for wipes and some good damage. Let's beat the enemy with the power of friendship type shit. Indeed, indeed. But what I need is not the power of friendship. What I need is the power of forgiveness. The game needs to forgive me for considering violence if it takes any longer, or if the game baits me any harder with specific HARU epiphany. Tihihihi, man, you so You so airhead. Wow. Teehehehe. So, there's like, what? 2 epiphanies open. Good chances that this turns into something. Kumala Nimbus. Hey, welcome, welcome. Okay, awesome. There's only one more, which means on the question mark, we are obviously going to get the Vitor event. Well, that didn't work. Which is all part of my master plan, in which... it all just works out in the end. Yes. That is my master plan. Let it all work out. What is our current HARU card looking like? Inquiry claim, so we need control. There we go. Works like a charm. Would I E6 Arabella? I don't think I have the funds for that right now. And I also don't necessarily think that is something I'm gonna end up doing. But there is at least a chance that we find ourselves in a situation like that. Alright? I'm not gonna say it's my goal. I'm not gonna say it's my intention. Come on! I mean, it does feel like there's something in the air today. In terms of the odds of us getting a Vitor anchor shot. It's been like 6 times today already. 5 to 6 times. It's just... hasn't worked yet. You moved? Yay! Hey, good job. Still looking for that HARU deck, or a different one is the same? Same deck. Slightly different approach and mindset depending on what kind of epiphanies we encounter, but it is still weakness, attack, decrease, fortitude, HARU that we're looking for. Can you give me a motivational word before your final term exam starts? If Arabella can walk around with all the weight that she's carrying on her shoulder, then you should be easily able to wrestle victory from those pieces of paper. Because that is going to be light work, right? If Arabella can carry what she carries, then you can absolutely succeed in the exam. Like, if she can do it, then you can at least put up 2% the power of her. What about a Severed Ties? We're not treating her as a DPS, but Severed Ties, if we were to want her to do damage, would definitely be our first option. You wrote an exam on the day Tenebria came out? Was it a blessing or a curse? Who knows? You get that Vitor Divine on Yuki after I gave up searching for it. It is true, you could run this exact same build on a Yuki as well. It's just that Yuki would end up being 1 cost, because you can't run Cost Divine and that at the same time. Thank you, no trouble. I hope you succeed. No, I believe you succeed. Yep, I believe in you. I think you can do it. Because if you're smart enough to know that CZN is a good game, obviously you'll have to be a person of enhanced mental capacity, which means this should be within your means. You can do it. I believe in you. I don't know why, but if you're not actively looking for a character's divine, then you get it. Yeah, but that's because you're more open of mind. Right? Like, you focus on building something else, but there's a lot of decks that are actually kind of cool. But when you're looking for something specific, the chances of getting something specific are less likely. But when you're not looking for it, there's a whole bunch of decks that are all really cool that on their own are really hard to get. But if you put them all together, it's actually a good chance of you encountering something that's actually kind of neat when you don't want it. So never look for any deck you care about. Okay, if the deck you're looking for is on a skill card, what are you doing? Like, that is plausible, that is easy to do, that is average. If what you're looking for happens to be an attack card, well, that might be the time where reconsidering starts looking a lot more tempting. Where the idea of reconsidering something doesn't just stay an idea, but actually turns into reality. It's just the fact that there's way more, right? Way more divine options on attack cards. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. We could have hit this Haru Epiphany any of the 6 times prior. Got the right divine. Got the right card. Happened to be the wrong divine. Got the right god. Got the right card. Happened to be the wrong thing. But we just gotta keep staying optimistic. Because if we don't, who will? We have yet to see a single Haru Epiphany this run. Looking good, Haru. Not sure what your mission is, but you are most certainly having a plan. I bet Euphenia will be the preseason unit. Maybe. But maybe a Euphenia becomes the limited anniversary unit. Wow, wow, wow. Oh! Do we risk it, gentlemen? Guaranteed divine to random card, but it could... sure, obviously we're gonna risk it. Come on! Okay, come on! So close yet so far. Were we actually close in the first place is the big question. Like, were we actually close or are we just pretending? I hate getting people out of the mental hospital because we're running too much chaos. Happens too often. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. You aren't even worthy. Okay, now that we've done that, let's give it one final shot. And after that, I don't know. Are we gonna try and run a Rin sortie? That sounds like fun, but am I here to have fun? I did also say we could do full scale. I don't know. Let's see. Hate people getting people out of the mental hospital. You should hate that too. Like, sometimes people are in mental hospitals for a reason. But okay, sometimes they might also be there for no good reason. Situationally based. It depends. Let's try one. Yeah, but also again, me no stamina. Me have already spent and burnt most of my stamina, so unfortunate. Yeah. We could do something like a Rin sortie day type deal. Where we kind of just do like 2 or 3 Rin runs, have some fun, get sortie currency, and get a chance at getting the Haru deck at the same time. Like, whoa, that's so smart. Okay, we have a random Vita Epiphany. The chances are 1 in 2, 1 in 5, 1 in 7. What do I have to fear, right? Yeah, alright. Do Rin sortie, she the goat. Rin sortie is cooking, absolutely. Maybe we get another chance at a guaranteed Vita Divinity. Not like this. But there's still a couple question marks where we could get what we need. Rin sortie is fun. Ooh, did they also introduce some like different Nutri cards or whatever? Or is it like still similar-ish rotation? Like at some point they'll also introduce the season 4 cards, which could be kind of cool if they come up with some extra spicy effects for those. Maybe like update the gear pieces as well. It could also actually give it a nice touch as well. What's the desire card goal? A draw 2, 1 cost, 1 control, 1 claim, 1 inquiry. Arabella is a limited, yes. Nexto Wende Neso Day. Nexo to Wend Neso Day. It's gonna be her time to shine, as Tenebria would say. You hope you get an under 10 summons? Or are we talking 10-10 pulls? Are we talking in hundreds or in tens? $10 pulls? Well, Wallet Son is gonna love you. Credit Card to Son is gonna hate you. Cthulhu Dagger. You hope you get in a pull? We all do. And there's even a good chance that one of us will. We just don't know who that is yet. Could be me. Could be any one of you. Could be Yoake. Yoake 14. He could be the one that gets her in a singular pull. Maybe one of you is funny. Maybe one of you even already has her on guaranteed pity at like 5 pulls. Which would make it very realistic for them to get her in 1. But How would we know? Right? How would we know? Now, bank account's the one crying. Oh, that's dead as well. I hope my Leolak is gonna pull it off here. Surely. I'm still confused about survival cards. Are they worth on any characters? They seem so unreliable to get. Hunters and rangers. Hunters, any hunter and any ranger wants the driven hunt survival card. And in general, survival cards you really want to get in a 2-1 split. So you want to encounter 2 survival events per run, so that you can at least put 2 survival perks on 2 out of 3 of the characters in your team. If you're gonna MT, for me, it's actually the other way around. At the moment, you need Hill to play Arabella. No, stop lying. You don't need Hill to play Arabella. So it's like 2-1. 2-1, 2-1, 1-1-1-1. I mean, let me just show you a deck so it makes more sense. So this is what a support looks like this season. Gonna have Increase because it's the best base card, and then it's gonna be 1 stack of survival, 1 stack of claim. Which means if we now want to get 5 survival and 3 claim, we're gonna have to run them with teammates like this. Where one character is going to have survival 2 and claim 1, which now makes our total survival 3, claim 2. And then we're gonna get exactly a second character like that, depending on who you pick, depending on how you make it happen. Now you're already at survival 5, claim 3, meaning you get the full 7 morale, and boom, bap, bop, you're done. Fertilization seems good. Fertilization would have been amazing if it was a team-wide bonus, which I thought it was gonna be. I can see fertilization coming in clutch for Olga, but for now, right, obviously, unless you're playing a controller or specifically a psionic that intends to deal damage, fertilization just, yeah. Wait, it's not exactly. Wait, fertilization is not team-wide? What? If fertilization was team-wide, everybody would be recommending it and everybody would be running it. Right? Unfortunately, it's not. Why? I don't know. Well, I am right, but hit supplies are better with a lot of fracture buster she can detonate. What do you mean when you say a lot? The maximum amount of fracture a hilt can provide in a turn, with what we currently have available to us, including gear sets, cards, all that, the maximum amount you're going to be able to supply is always only going to be 15. Unless you end up in a situation where you can make it happen that you kill something with Plasma Rain's third epiphany. Then it would be 18. Then it would be 18. Where should you build a hit deck? Season 4 Seasonal Chaos. Because you can get item like this, combine it with like a second method for extra tech damage, or an RFS for 0 cost cards, because hits arrows count as 0 cost cards. These count as 0 cost cards. So RFS, the 10% crit chance to 0 cost cards for the arrows combined with egg. And then you can just pick up a Survivor 2, Claim 1, Driven Hunt, and your deck's pretty much done. It's hard to say. I mean, it seems the most logical that an Arabella team is going to end up running Claim 7. Because you want to kind of get dot 5, right? You want to get Claim 5 anyway for the dot. So now that you're Claim 5, the best thing you could do would be another 3-piece. So might as well do Claim 7, right? So my idea was kind of something along the lines of a whatever claim 2 combined with an Arabella on claim 3 Sabotage. But that's the question, right? Like there's obviously a point to it, but also you're not going to have 100% uptime on the claim 10 cost. But do 35% dot damage amount will be based on final damage. I think it's only just going to be a percentage multiplier. So I don't think it's going to... It's nothing super correct. We obviously heard a little bit from Mr. Math Guy himself in regards to how it scales. It's sweet, but it's not absolutely heavy to get. A lot more important than the claim 5 is actually just going to be how much damage over time substat are you going to be able to get. The more damage over time substat you can get on your Arabella, that is where the real damage comes from. Alright, gotta go. It's nice watching the live stream. Hope you have a good day and take care. We love you, bro. Take a lot of rest too. Yep, and you ace that exam or something. Or at least succeed. You can do it. I wonder what the max... What could be the max stat? I could give you the max... Fuck you. Alright, sure. Max DOT substat is going to be, depending on if she has a potential that increases dot or not, we're going to be looking at 3.4% times 5. You can get it as a substat on everything else, which means you're going to be having a 17% max roll times 6 slots. So that should be 85% plus like 102%. I guess this would be the hypothetical max roll. Yeah, 102% is the hypothetical absolute maximum that you can get on max on dot substats. That is on the condition that everything you roll is the maximum amount of dot and rolls into dot 5 times. Now, something that's a little bit more realistic is kind of to aim for like something like 50%. Or your goal should be something at least like 30% plus. 50% would be very nice. And 65% plus would be incredible. I think that's kind of the split. Like, you should try to get like 30%, 50 would be pretty good, and then 65% plus would be incredible. But no, my current highest set is like 40%. Which should be on Tressa. Yeah, see, awkwardly enough, I have a better dot Battlefield of Evolution set than an actual Sanguine Thorn set, which is tough luck. Yeah, like 38.8% is the best I kinda have. Wait. That is currently with attack percentage main stat in the top. Obviously doesn't quite count, I guess. Because that would require her to... I mean, 9% here is kind of nice. The 6.3% here is kind of cool, but then again, that's crit damage main. Yeah, 9% seems to be the highest I'd have ready like that. So that would mean one of these pieces would need to be swapped. So I guess this would be a bit closer. Plus 46% crit, plus 51% crit damage, 38.4 damage over time. Which means it's gonna look something like 59.8 on 7.2% additional. So our current set is like 188.2% crit damage on 60% crit chance on 40% damage over time. Kind of. Yeah. That would probably be my best set I could do right now. Wait, how does this not work? Oh, because the main stat? No. Oh, at least 3? At least 2. There we go. Let's see, is there anything else I needed to consider? No. This is mainly extra attack damage for some fucking reason. Yeah, none of these are particularly high in dot damage. Yeah, we already checked this one, checked this slot. This slot's kind of empty, and then this slot, there's not a lot of choice as well. Well, we're getting there. What do you mean if Fracture scale very good with attack? It scales about as well as anything else with attack. But, no, the main things you want to do to increase Fracture damage are going to be, you want crit chance because it can crit. You want crit damage because it can obviously do crit damage, but luckily you get a bunch of crit damage through the Sanguine Thorn and Executioner's toolset. So main part, you want crit chance, so you crit. You want damage over time so that you get a final, so that you get a different multiplier to it in the damage calculation, and then the rest goes to attack. Yes, but it really goes. Make sure you get your right main stats, right? Make sure you get your right main stats, but then it's really crit chance and damage over time on kind of like one. Fracture can crit? Yeah. What do you mean news? Obviously Fracture can crit. So you're going to have crit chance and the damage over time next to each other as the highest priorities, and then it's going to be attack and crit damage being less, because attack, you get attack from other places as well, and you already have a bunch of crit chance from the sets. So it really goes crit chance and damage over time as like your main goals in terms of substats, because there's no point having crit damage on the set if you don't crit. And yeah, that's kind of what you're mainly looking for. Oh, and obviously something like an instinct percentage goblet would also scale, right? It doesn't make a difference. If you get extra attack, you end up getting more damage on Fracture, but if you get instinct percentage, it's also going to be more damage, because the instinct damage itself will still be considered, like the Fracture damage itself would still be considered instinct damage, even though it's a dot, because it comes from an instinct character. Yep. Attack from Glock of Discord Pew Pew. That as well. But it's kind of like the Sword of Discord. Yeah, Maribel has a very interesting set for my Hild. She does. Yeah, here, there you go. My damage over time Hild set. 45.9% damage over time. On a Battlefield of Evolution set. Can Dot crit? Anything that's not Agony can crit, yes. The only reason why Agony can't crit because it's fixed damage. Arabella's a striker, she is. So, let me show you what 45% dot damage looks like in terms of tick damage without any like team-wide buffs, without any set buffs. Like just from Hild alone, right? You'll see. You'll see. Ah, it's the wrong deck. And the combo one is a bit awkward. Do I have anything better? Ah, yeah, we could use this deck for now. There we go. Boss has damage reduction? Yeah, but the damage reduction will go away at some point as well. Not to worry too much about it. I don't think we'll be able to get like the full amount of fracture stacks applied. But we're going to get to a point where the boss at least is going to have a decent chunk. So you see currently we're doing 380% dot, which was a 2900 crit. Yeah, I remember now. I am not allowed to play the zero in card because zero in kind of ruins the what I want to showcase here, you know? So yeah. Now we'll obviously see this like purple expectation of health reduction. Though, And you see we also have max stacks already, right, on Evolving Battlefield. So the only difference between running hit on a Fracture and Evolving Battlefield set is 5% crit for the dot itself. So it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, what you currently see is obviously the expected damage. But in this case, on a non-crit. But we are rocking 235.7% crit damage. So it's a bit more, right? But yeah, this is currently 620% dot. 7,700. Just finished salty with 19 shit is hard. Understandably so. But yeah, max stacks is what? 30, right? Yeah, so as you can see at currently 22 stacks, we're at 900% dot. So with 30 stacks you do... Did we do 7,000 at 15 stacks? I don't know. So yeah, you see, in this case, it was only a 6,600 hit. You know, I don't know. Sometimes things do what they be doing. Don't ask. Oh shit, the boss is dead. No! My stamina! No! Stamina, Anakin, where are you going? Well, the boss had a vulnerable on the 7k. Yeah, see, I was wondering a little bit why the number seemed higher than I had it in mind. But that at least gives a little bit of an idea, eh? Fracture can proc vulnerable. Yes, it can. So having vulnerable active and then Fracture itself getting triggered is going to give it a damage bonus. You love HARU? That's good. Loving HARU is pretty sweet. And seeing the potential in a deck like this is just what CZN is all about. Now, okay, it's the easy way to do it, but 19 morale, 10 negative fortitude onto the enemy with 5 draw and the option to build for team-based crit chance, team-based or team-based draw through the Incre 5 or the through the Incre 5 or Control 5. It's pretty peak. The fact that Fracture procs vulnerability changes a lot of things. Technically yes, technically no. Remember, you first have to apply the vulnerable for it to be able to be triggered. But yeah, having vulnerables up by the end of the turn when Fractures normally trigger themselves, or when you're going to intend to use Arabebe to trigger some of them, advised. Right? It makes sense. It's kind of smart, you know? It's kind of like, whoa. Yeah. Pretty much. Where were we? Unfortunately, I don't have a good piece of content at hand where we could try and show off the dot damage amounts. Which is unlucky. But yeah, we could try a hit with the Survivor 1 claim, Survivor 1 claim 2 or Survivor 3. Both are mega awkward. Like, the reason why I made this a Claim 2 deck is with the assumption that we'd go for a Claim 7 eventually, right? And the reason why, because I currently had a Claim 7, and Claim 7 makes it impossible to go Claim 7. So, yeah, that's kind of the study behind this. Alright, let's say you are Claim 2 and Survival. Cassius comes in like this. Then it leaves us with a problem, and that is we are in desperate need of, if we want to get the full effect, of a Survival 2 claim. No, we need a Survival 3. We don't really care about claim. The only Survival 3 I can think of top of my head is, well, Hild. It's one of the only Survival 3s I can think of top of my head. We could run a Naja for funsies. Naja has a Survival 2. Which would give us Survival 4. So it all don't really matter much, I guess. Yeah. Tis a little awkward. I think I have like a... Like, most of my Survival 3s are like Hild before we really understood what we were actually going for. Or maybe like a pre-season character. But I have like a Claim 3 Yuki. I think Luke is in the same awkward spot where his deck is Survival 1 Claim 2, so we'd have actually... Oh, I mean, this would give us the dot bonus, right? Claim 2, Claim 2, Claim 1. The problem is, Brother is too fucking expensive. I can't afford him. But also, I don't really want to bring Yuki, because if we do, we just have too much morale, which would be kind of a waste. But Yuki does have Claim 3, together with Claim 2. But that still means I need a bunch of card draw. Which is why this would give us Claim 6, Survival 3. That is ass. Well, it's not necessarily about it, right? We just want to see the potential of Dot. Is a card activation making the tenacity damage as big as well? Like if you were to... No, it activates a card... When you activate an X cost... Wait. I think when you activate a high cost... When you activate an X cost card at 9 AP, it's going to be treated as a 0 cost card. But if you activate a card at 9 cost, it should be treated like a 9 cost, which means it would also do weakness damage like a 9 cost. Yeah, setting this up could take a while. Also, I don't know if we have enough AP to play the deck. But who cares? Right? It's going to be fun. Or fine. One or the other. It's not a deck that's meant to be finished. I mean, the Adelheid is like, whatever. It's kind of just here for the vibes. And I don't know if we'll be able to get the hit count for this. We'll see. Well, that's okay. I didn't want to deal with them anyway. But yeah, no. We should be able to build up some stacks at some point. Like, the deck is going to become smaller. Yeah, I don't really know why we're having a Yuki Prime showcase. This was kind of about trying to see how much dot damage we can do, but hey, it's I don't know if she has gear though. Oh, she does. Yuki's eating well. Not to worry about her. Okay, so... Oh yeah, this is gonna be awkward. 10 stacks of Marcus Membrane. I don't know if we hit that much. Probably not like this. Also, Adelheid and Hild don't really work that well together. If you're kind of drawing into arrow, like if you're using the one that requires you to like draw a blessing card, because what if you draw into an arrow? An arrow is not a blessing card. Well, it will be fine. You just watch. So we're surely gonna make it past 6 stacks this time. Let's see through how many of these we'll actually be able to cycle. 1. Great. Sure, let's just force it. Let's just force it. Now we gotta start stacking up some of them at some point. Well, I thought we were about to force a lot more than 12 stacks. Unlucky. By the way, Yuki could be important for the next Great Rift. Yeah, we'll have to see. Okay, now we've finally done something. Yeah. Okay, this is actually a decent turn. This might give us a okay idea of what like a half good amount of stacks look like, so long as we obviously draw into a couple arrows here. Maybe. I blame the Adelheid deck. It's not a particularly good one right now. Well, 14 stacks, huh? I mean, it's 1000% dot, but it's only 14 stacks. And he still has stacks of... No, he doesn't seem to have the damage reduction stacks anymore, which is great. So this could be a good tell, right? Surely this needs to be the best tell ever. And this is going to be the perfect opportunity. I mean, it's certainly very Bateau of us. Yes, come on, give me more arrows in hand. This is actually perfect. Come on. Right, then let's load the deck full of a couple arrows. See if we can draw one of them. Yes. No. Well, 18 stacks. 18 stacks or 1200% dot is about as good as we're gonna get it, probably. What about Scorched? Scorched is gonna be 308%. But like per action count reduction. Huh. Well, it didn't crit, so 3400. So times 2.3 and that would have been the damage. Luckily, it's not a very well-rounded Adelheid deck, so I have somebody to blame. Which means I don't need to be as sad. Probably just should have brought a Cassis for like additional draw or something. I mean, we did 900k score with a team that's not meant to take on this boss, really. That's great. Hey, 20 stacks. 1300%. Come on. Oh. Oh, really? Okay, we have to see this in slow-mo. Like the one time where we actually get a useful number, they decide to do Heidi plays. So the number in question was 11,155. 11,155 was the dot damage there. And that was on 20 stacks with just Hild herself having some fun. Problem is, now we're gonna go down to 6 stacks again. There has to be a better team for this. I refuse to believe. And we're not aiming for a lot, are we? Like just like you have claim 2, that's awesome. Serenial oh, Serenial might have claim 2 as well. No, Serenial has claim survivor 2. Yeah, which brings us to only 4 claim. Which means we're kinda wasting what could be. Even Hugo won't be able to help. Because he's also survival 2, claim 1 Andy. Even the goat Hugonius III can't help. Hear me out, Tressa. No, I can't hear you out. It's because we're looking for a very specific type of character that at least has claim 2. But I don't have a lot of claim 2 characters. I do have Luke. The problem with Luke, though, he is very expensive. To the point where we can't afford that with the Cassius. So we could make this entire thing work by trying to run something like a Serenia, but even then it's also still a bit too expensive. And if I swap Cassius out for something like a Nausea, Nausea doesn't have any claim stacks, so we still get stranded at claim 4 rather than claim 5. Which is besides the point of this entire thing. Because I would really like to see like the claim 5% increase. But our own hilt is standing in the way of our success. Yeah. Will Arabella be able to generate as much fracture as Hild? What kind of question is this? Arabella will be able to generate way more fracture than in Hild. Like, Arabella has a card that applies 3 fracture AoE to everybody and 9 fracture single target. That is already quite a good chunk, and even in like a single target scenario, that's already 9 stacks. Then we also have like the fracture application plus multi-detonation. She should at least have a way to get 30 stacks in a turn, like minimum. I mean, we could run double morale generator. maybe the draw is still enough. Hey, who knows? This could give us a decent number. Let's see. So good start with the quest card. Gotta get rid of it eventually. Get this out as well. Alright. Slow start, but that's okay. Play one of the upgrades, get one of the exhaust cards out. Play another one of the upgrades, great. And now start stacking fracture arrows. Alright, so far so decent. How do we want claim / survival? What? 7 survival, 2 claim? What? No. In terms of a fracture deck, you either go with claim 5 survival 3, or you do something like survival 5 random bullshit go, or survival 7. We still have to do some bit more testing on that at least. But I personally am a big favorite of the random bullshit go option. Sounds like a good idea and a good time as well. But alright, we've cycled through the entire deck. All the upgrades are gone. Yeah, let's see what we can make happen here. There's no way we're not capping morale. We have too much morale for us to be unable to cap morale. Yeah, like, now we're already at 21 stacks. You gotta count them in your head, because it's pointless, right? Now we're at 21 fantasy stacks. Probably like 27, 30. I don't know, some fictitious number. We are HARU Koro over Kapingu. Oh, there are no hit cards to draw. How the fuck does that work? Well, 8,000 fracture right there. But we're just getting started. Morale should have been kept at 10? Nah. I think it's fine like this. Gives you something to aim for. And also with like morale kept at 10. What would you do with like... That would make Fortitude morale, like Fortitude Haru maybe even more valuable. Or it would make Driven Hunt more disgusting. I don't know, there's a couple of things that would be referred to as maybe being... I don't know. I think it's fine this way. I think we're in a good spot. I think we're in a good spot. Makes every single DPS just want morale stacking and GG? I mean, not necessarily. Like, for example, morale isn't actually good for fracture. Right? Like, morale isn't actually a good thing for fracture. Because fracture kind of wants percentage bony. Only issues, we don't really have many of those that would apply to a fracture type scenario. So, well, maybe it creates the same problem. Oh, really? Double cast is bullshit? Sad. Alright, 20 stacks. 21 stacks. 14,000 fracture hit. I don't think order damage is boosted here. So... that's good. It's a lot of Yuki cards we have here. You could even say almost too many. Almost too many Yuki cards. Alright, come on, 12 stacks. Give me a couple fracture hits. 13 and 14. Aw, awkward. Okay, this was only a 6k damage hit. He probably had like some damage reduction stacks or whatever still left over. No cards to draw. Great, thank you. You've been a great help, Cassius. As always, we appreciate you to no end. Is there a card like attack exclamation mark but for skill cards? No. I mean, technically Cassius Joker, which is one cost, pick anything you like. It's probably the closest you're gonna get. Alright, 18 stacks. 12,000 damage on a fracture hit. Alright, then let's just, I think this is kind of like the, let's just call it the last turn. Like, this should just force a good amount of fracture stacks. Oh, we did get 3 AP. Yeah, like, this is about as good as it's gonna get. Like, seriously. We are not gonna run into a situation where the conditions are gonna be more optimal than right now. So we're going to try and see if we can make ourselves familiar with the kind of buffs that are currently active, so that we have an idea of what it took. So there's no damage reduction on the boss. Alright. SFG was watching stream Jojo earlier and finally got the stand upgrade for time stop. Yep, time stop is holy damage. So, gentlemen, 27 stacks. What else do we have going for us? Right? What else is... Oh! 28, 29. Oh, so close to perfection. So... Let's see. 29 stacks of fracture. 2000% dot multiplier right now. So, enemy takes 48% more damage from hilt. No, enemy actually takes 72. So, enemy takes 72% more damage from hilt. 60% more damage because of negative fortitude. 400% more damage amount because of morale. 35% dot increased damage amount from claim 5. 15% damage amount from Glory's rain set. 35% crit damage amount from evolving battlefield. And plus 8% damage amount from resonance Nyx 1 dupe. Show us the number. We could try to apply weakness as well, but I don't think that does much. 18,000! 18,000! Oh, we can even compare to the equivalent of a 0 in hit. But yeah, 18,700 whatever fracture proc. 18,000 damage fracture proc. Less than 1 Tenebria arpeggio. Ah, shut up, man. Who wants to hear that? You know yourself, you should have kept that to yourself. Then again, this arpeggio obviously refers to like the final of the arpeggio chain. And this does also mean that we are not considering... Remember, Olga. Olga would multiply it as well. Woo! You are being a shitter. Indeed! You've ruined the moment. You spit on all our fun. Nah, all good. We still have Arabella for more fracture application, more fracture procking. We still have Olga for whatever she does, and however that ends up being, however much. And I don't know, any other things we can kind of grasp for, but yeah. 18,700 damage on a 30 fracture proc. Respectable. Yeah. Alright. Good. Good job. I mean, let's check again, just in case. If there's any, like, buff on the boss that makes Fracture deal more damage. Void and Order damage attribute. So, no. There was no increase to Fracture on the boss itself. Now, if I had a softy spam Orlea... we could hold this softy retain. The real problem though is the only increase to Fracture damage is going to be playing out the 3-star softy. Right? Oh, you know, Agony would actually be broken. Agony would actually be broken if it wasn't fixed. But it would be fun broken. And the reason why is because Agony is 20 hits rather than a big hit. So something like 400 here. Like it's fixed damage dot times Agony count. So technically, if you had 20 stacks of morale, it would be a 400 times 20 hitter. And that is just from considering morale. Typhara could up damage amount? Also no, not really. There's not a lot of non-card damage, multiplicative damage amount increases. They don't really exist. Multiplicative non-card damage amount increases are very, very scarce in this game. One of the few examples is going to be like a E2, like an E2 or like E4 Orlea or an E2 Adelheid with the 30% multiplicative. What's the link code? Who's built? It's the HARU deck. It's the HARU deck for those that clicked on this stream because they were like, what? OP HARU deck? Let me see. Right? Isn't Orlea deleted while building? No. Orlea didn't get deleted. Her purpose has just been changed from a I wait 10 turns to strike once to a I strike once every turn 10 times for 10 turns kind of idea. Is she dead? No. Is that a weakening to her that the softy cap is capped at 350%? Yes. But she still has 350% multiplicative to attack card plus, like it's the entire attack card. That's also important. Typhara also only does next hit. And you still have the 35% multiplicative damage amount on actually using up a softy. Arabella as a striker doesn't have seasonal card multiplier damage. Oh, no. Arabella does. But it's additive. Arabella has a pretty sweet card in Sever Ties. But Sever Ties is additive 120. But it does work on Fracture. So for Arabella's Fracture, Sever Ties is going to work like 6 morale stacks. So what deck is good on Orlea now? I like my rendition of this Orlea, which is I can retain one softy 10 times in a turn to max out the 350% bonus, as well as have 3 draw and 2 vulnerable. Something bothers me about the save data amount here. Yeah, know what I mean? Like, something's fishy. And I don't know what. Ah, yeah. We removed the fourth card and that's a 20 save data cost. Yeah. I mean, I don't like Sacred Sensor much. I know the card's cool, and technically you go for like the softy version, or like, but I don't know. I like getting rid of Sacred Sensor and just using one of them. Yeah, removing the 4th card. You usually don't do it on characters, which is why you don't necessarily consider it. Yeah, I mean, Sacred Sensor as an upgrade, yes. But also, okay, Sacred Sensor as an upgrade, yes, but what if you create a Swifty? What are you going to do with the Swifty? Keep it in your hand until you do your burst and then play it out? Does that work? Yes. But it also means you'll have additional cards in your hand that you can't play unless you want to stop your softy streak. I mean, it works, right? But yeah, I just love the simplicity of picking the growing creature I want and then calling it a day. Though it has the negative. It has the negative of us never really being able to consume the softy. Because if we do, the entire deck's cooked. So maybe the idea would be like a growing creature retain version combined with a Sacred Sensor softy creation version? I don't know. Would it be worth to build a Severed Ties 9 with the blue crit chance and crit damage gear for first attack card used? I mean, if you then also insta level up to, like, if you just want one card, one hit, sweet number, then getting like a Extreme 5 with those 2 gear pieces. Like if you had an Extreme 5 with those 2 gear pieces by utilizing something like Fatal Strike, Hue to final level, it could work. You want to play as many as possible of the increased damage amount. I mean, that's also an idea, right? Like softy spam. Softy spam is probably the best thing we're gonna get to a dot damage buffer. Because there's no cap to the amount of softy spam. So maybe the next meta or Leia build is a 4 Sacred Sensor softy version. Is that intended by the devs? Probably not. Is that actually a deck? I guess that might. Like, Orlea Softy low star spam might be our best bet at getting high fracture damage. Can be good, but if Arabella and Orlea can't draw, it'd be a problem. Yeah, but that's where Hild would come in. Unfortunately, though, at some point you gotta ask yourself then, who pays for all of this shit? Right? But luckily, there might be a Hild deck that could be a solution. So, you know, we're actually gonna cook on the website again. Too much of a bother. So, the Hild deck I'm currently thinking of in my head is probably gonna look something like... Alright, let's see if I can put it all together. I mean, I have those codes already everywhere. I don't really care. I can reset this. So removing the basics, getting one fracture arrow with a cost reduction divine. Then a plasma rain with draw 1, draw and release. On the next 3 attack cards or extra attack cards of this unit, 1 fracture to all enemies. With either cost reduction or combo. And then the idea here is we still get the same amount of fracture stacks as if we had a full fracture deck, but we still provide enough draw to the team. And that is because in this case we're just stacking the amount of fracture, though I don't know what happens when you stack 2 draws and releases. There's a chance that, yeah, like what was it? Were you able to stack this, or was it just gonna make... No, you weren't able to stack this. Yeah, this doesn't work. So I think it was closer to... Okay, it kind of requires an E2 so that you get the extra follow-up attacks. But E2 would allow you to play a 3-2 split. That kind of looks like this. Kind of. Which would mean you'd have a lot of draw. And I'm talking a lot of draw. You could go on a Eternal Hunger Hilt build. Yeah, but if you're doing Eternal Hunger Hilt, where's the space to get extra fracture? But sure. Maybe Mary Arabella can just do that on her own, but you kind of just want to get more fracture because you can, right? But okay, so this is the side project, right? Now the real interesting one is the Orlea deck. What does I want to play as many small softies as humanly possible Orlea deck actually look like? And you might actually get it, like, if you have, like, 10... Okay, 10 is probably a bit too much. You know, I don't even know if we would keep growing creature. You could kind of keep it for the vulnerable, but I don't really see the point. Because if you spam using the softies anyway... Though I guess it would be a bonus. You just have one softie there that just kind of sticks around. Now, this would be 8 softies. Would it be worth to drop 1 draw and release and add a quick shell with 1 AP? With the seasonal card, she spends too much AP to be played with, let's say, Cassius and Arabella. Maybe. I mean, if you're able to play the team, that's if you play the cards, it's obviously better. Though we do have this ring that allows you to get 1 AP when you kill 3 enemies that you could put on, like, support Cassius, I guess. Bad turn 1. Agreed. Unless you consider the fact that you could run Hild with shwoop, 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 de whoop, doop, bam, bing, bang, boom, boop. A draw to 0 cost. Which isn't the worst setup ever for a turn 1. Starting with getting 5 cards out of the way. Starting with a draw 2. And then having potentially access to a draw 3. A bunch of draw 2 0 cost cards. Ooh, also, I wonder what would be for the best here. Probably you would rather first play out all the sacred sensors so that you have them combine and then use them up after. Which draw and release did you use on the hit for the fracture bit? It's the one that says you draw 2 cards and for the next 3 extra attacks you inflict fracture. You could also use the growing creature with the retain, create 1 random. It would be a 33% chance to get a softie. That is true. But this would be a 35%. Okay, it would only be a card damage bonus because we'd never use it up. Yeah. I was kind of thinking the same. Something like this. But if you're already at this point, like, you might as well go gambling and just create 3 creation cards. But then again, on the, yeah, probably something like this is the new meta Orlea, huh? Whoops. What did I do? I don't know. Not important. There we go. The new meta Orlea. At least when it comes to fracture damage boosting. Ay. Can't wait for the time where softie usage percentage damage increase gets capped. I can't wait for the time where they decide, well, now that you've done all of this, how about we also cap the top step? We kind of forgot to do that. Whoops, our fault. Here, take another selector. But yeah, if you want to use this Orlea as the damage booster for the team, she is AP negative by 1 with growth acceleration. But that's on the condition that we want growth acceleration to actually apply the vulnerability, which makes sense. Because it's just a final damage multiplier for free that we can get for fucking Arabella, right? Okay, what is this deck? Is this an Orlea deck? I don't know. Let's see. Invalid code. So it's not an Orlea deck. Then I'm guessing it's a Hild deck? No. There might be like a... It was an Orlea deck. Yeah, I don't know what the problem could be. There could be like a space in there in between at some point. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do you a massive favor. Just for you, okay? Don't expect me to do this just for everyone. Wait, oh, you put a point at the end? Okay. Alright. Well, I wanted to type it one by one. Yeah, okay, this works. So what are we looking at? Create creations and draw one. I mean, if you compare the two, this one is going to create 7 creations a turn, which means if you follow the law of averages, you can only at most assume you're going to get 2 small softies. 2 small softies would be a 20% damage increase. This deck right here guarantees us at least 7 softies. Would Olea at level 50 be okay? No, why would you do that? You need Olea at minimum level 51 so you can get the top right crit chance team-wide increase potential. Could I do you a massive favor and show you an S4K run deck? I think you can look on YouTube for like Misery CZN. He's done like a Hild K-Ron double team deck. I don't know what his deck is about, but he had like a big thumbnail about it. Maybe it's good. I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that we're guaranteed to create a softie, and we will just use the softies up anyway. So we're getting additional 1-star softies. Also, something that's interesting, when we use these sacred sensors without using up the softie, this condition of when the next softie is used to trigger 1-star, how does it stack? Right? Does it stack as use the next one, create 3, or does it count as when you use the next one, get 1, so you always have to do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And with Ghost Acceleration, you could get a guarantee 2 vulnerable for fracture, yeah. You put a divine, but you could disable one. I mean, we have the same thing, right? We have the vulnerable to guarantee. It's just, I mean, the deck we looked at from you, right? It just, you don't have enough softies. Maybe it's the way, but like in my personal opinion, there's just not enough softies in here. Like you might just get 2 1-star softies in a turn. That's a 20% multiplicative increase, which might as well just be nothing. Right? At least that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. What is the code he sent? Oh, the code that's currently pinned is an HARU deck. The code that he sent is an Olea deck. Would HARU Naja be the best combo necessary to make HARU work? HARU Naja is kind of necessary unless you have E2 Naja. E2 HARU, then it's not that as necessary anymore. Or you can tell me of a deck that can create 30 AP and I'm listening. Because there is a deck where you can play 15 HARU anchors, which you can't really afford. Perhaps Olea would also be bait? I mean, until we get Olga, the proper dot damage increaser, the proper dot damage support, Olea is our best option. Yeah, obviously, like, Olga should do better. But until we get her... level 51 of is a bit expensive compared to level 50. Could we start a GoFundMe? No. You can get it, or you can get out. That's pretty much that. So, I do believe, though... I do believe I've done what I wanted to do. We had some fun. We saw an 18,000 damage hit on Fracture. Without this Softy Olea super spam. We were testing Haru's MIG. I did 11 delegation attempts for Haru. It wasn't meant to be. Not yet, at least. WG, I messed up my Haru Desire card and still claim I got an increased survival control. Are you bricked? Yeah, probably bricked up because you thought you did something great. No, you have an increased survival control Haru. That just means... Wait, increased survival control? You can still play Incre, you can still play Control. It's still a good deck. Survival being changed for Claim doesn't really make a difference because you should get full Mirage decks anyway. Claim is just there for fun. But yeah, no, you're totally fine. It does not make a difference for the Haru deck. Alright. So technically Arabella and Olga is very niche and hit is the best to put from a free-to-play standpoint? Who the fuck knows? Maybe the best to play to pull is actually going to be Orlea and it's going to be Arabella and Olga because Fracture's going to do like 50,000 damage a proc and you're going to proc it 10 times a turn. Who knows, right? A man can dream. Like an 18,000 damage proc on 29 stacks from Hilt is already at least promising. No salty run. Sad face. You know what? I don't have any stamina. I'm not going to play no etherless salty run. That's no good. As I said, we might just do like a Rin appreciation time appointment tomorrow, but not today. Okay, me tired. I'm awake since quite a while ago. I'll have to wake up early again for unspecified reasons. You might see me, you might see me not. We shall see. And you actually had 100k black mass. Hey, that means you can potentially craft a few decks. That's sweet. Yeah, I should pre-farm some black mass for you know, that's actually the best thing I could do. Pre-farm black mass to build a proper Arabella deck. Aye. All right. Appreciate tuning in. Been a pleasure. See each other in the next one. And if there's anything else, I don't know. We'll figure things out.